In the future, each U.S. woman is allowed to become pregnant once, even if the first child is stillborn or deceased. John and his pregnant wife Karen, who used to fail on their first baby, attempt to cross the heavily secured border of the US and Canada to have their second child. However, as they pass all the security checks, a guard suspects and finds out Karen is wearing a magnet jacket to cover the belly. The two fight back the guards and run off to the border. However, John decides to let Karen escape alone, leaving himself to be attacked brutally by the police dogs. He is caught but still smiles happily as Karen has made it to Canada. A truck packed with prisoners arrives in Mental Prison. All the inmates are required to strip off before entering the facility called Fortress. The prison director named Poe welcomes the prisoners over the screens above the cages. Each inmate will be then outfitted with a device called Intestinator, by which Mental will automatically control the prisoner's behavior. The device can be triggered to explode in cases of extreme punishment.
Up these stairs, please.
John and Gomez follow a control device called ZD-10, which represents the human guards to a room with 3 other inmates. Stiggs, Lord of the Cell, D-Day, a genius, Abraham, a quiet, calm man. As the system informs 60s left before bedtime, Abraham reminds John and Gomez not to dream. At night, John dreams about making love with Karen, which is also observed by the director Poe over the ZD-10. The device immediately scans John's mind and finds out his inappropriate dream. The system then triggers the Intestinator, and hurts John badly after that. John looks at Abraham, seemingly understanding why he told John not to dream in this prison. The day after, John is sent to the construction site. Suddenly, John hears someone pleading for help nearby. As a man with a number 187 tattooed on his forehead called Maddox is raping Gomez, John tries to stop it. The two start to fight, only to get intestinated by the system as it figures violence in prison. John, Maddox and Gomez are framed for hours until the perpetrator is revealed. Seeing Gomez is exhausted, John decides to confess. He is then transported to see Poe in person. In Poe's office, John sees Abraham is shaving for Poe. Abraham is Poe's best trustee in the prison. Then Poe shows John a camera screen showing Karen is apparently captured in the prison. Poe says that Karen is so beautiful and shows his dark intention over John's wife. The couple then are ordered to be intestinated at the same time. Later, at the mealtime, John asks Abraham where the female prison is. Abraham then reveals that the female section would be in the levels A and B. The following morning, John is revenged by Maddox. Poe delays in stopping the two men, making the crowd gather around the fight.
Retract the bridge.
Karen can see John from her level. As the two fight on the walkway, Poe orders the system to retract the bridge. John seizes the chance and beats Maddox up, causing Maddox to fall off the walkway where he hangs on by one hand. Poe orders John to execute Maddox, but John against Poe, saving Maddox. Poe then orders a splatter gun, targeting Maddox intestinator. The man's abdomen is blown out. Poe orders the random intestination among the prisoners, including John. At that moment, John finds Maddox's intestinator dropped on the floor. He secretly hides it away. John hands Gomez the device before being sent to isolation to await punishment. Karen is allowed to talk with John in the punishment room. After that, John is tortured by a gimbal that spins him around. He is also punished by hallucinations about the past with Karen and their first child. After 3 days, Poe sets a deal with Karen to release John if she stays with him later. Can't stand seeing John that way, Karen agrees to live with Poe in the quarters. John returns to his cell with a very scary appearance. His mind is dead and the body has no sensation. Meanwhile, Karen spends her first night in Poe's quarters. A moment later, she shockingly finds Poe is enhancing power from the system. Poe then reveals that the Mentel transformed him into a more efficient cyborg. It turns out Poe is the very first baby of those female pregnant inmates that Mentel successfully transformed. Karen's baby is also part of Poe's plan. Meanwhile, Abraham tries to nurse John to take his feelings back. During this time, Karen becomes attached to Poe, planning to use Poe on her own plans. Karen tries to get Poe drunk by inviting him a glass of champagne, making Poe pass out. Karen sneaks into the control room, entering John's dream and waking him up from the catatonia. Luckily, Karen manages to return before Poe can find her. The next morning, John lets his friends know that he is now awake after 4 months in catatonia. John learns that Karen has moved into Poe's quarters to save John's life. John tells the group that he will rescue Karen, starting from Abraham's cleaning job for Poe. Abraham is the only prisoner to earn the parole, which Poe allows ZD-10 to free him from mind control. While at the quarters, Abraham reveals about John's escape plan. Hopefully Karen will stop John as no one ever gets out of here. However, Karen becomes joyful and tells Abraham that she will indeed help John to carry the plan. At the cell, John asks D-Day to fix Maddox's intestinator. D-Day requires to accompany John on the escape. Later, John has to deal with D-Day after that. At Poe's quarter, Karen successfully hides the diamond, which is a holographic lens showing detailed maps of the fortress. Later, Abraham brings the diamond so John and others carry out the plan. D-Day uses his glasses to turn the laser and the diamond on. John says that they will start from the construction site. The following day, Abraham helps the group to return the diamond. Poe then asks Karen about her decision of divorcing John, promising not to enhance the child like other babies. Karen sets an extra deal to free John so she'll marry Poe. She has to give Poe the final answer by tomorrow night. When John hears from Abraham, John decides to escape tomorrow morning. D-Day also finds that the intestinators are magnetic. Basically, they can use the fixed one to drag other devices out of their stomachs. Stig suggests the trial on his body first under conditions that the group has to take him with. The trial causes Stig's in utter pain. Finally, the intestinator can pop through Stig's throat, releasing him from the system control. D-Day then helps the others to split the intestinator out one by one. The next day, John gathers the devices at one place on the water pipe. The group pretend to fight to draw the guards' attention at the construction site. As usual, the system triggers the intestination when violence is caught. Poe realizes the system's error, but it is too late. The system creates a blow-up at the pipe, exposing a big hole enough for the cell men to escape from there.
Yes, man, I thought this... Out of here!
Poe then orders mass intestination among inmates. Poe recalls the steam valves and activates the trike clones to eliminate all of them. The group can't get over the steam, so they go backward in the pipes to avoid the burn. Stiggs decides to surrender before further punishment from Poe. However, Stiggs gets shot multiple times in the chest as he comes out. Meanwhile, at Poe's quarters, Abraham secretly takes Karen out. However, Poe appears just after. Abraham fights with Poe to rescue Karen. However, Poe is actually a machine, so nothing can beat him up. Karen tries to help Abraham by stabbing a piece of glass into Poe's back, but to no avail. Meanwhile, the strike clones enter the pipes and fire inside. John manages to drag the clone in and smash it to pieces. The group quickly take the powerful fire weapon from the clone and rush out, firing at the other clones outside. As the glasses are broken while running, D-Day luckily survives thanks to John's help. The trio jumps to the ZD main control and hides behind the device to avoid the camera and the crowd's supports. A moment later, they break into Poe's quarter. John points the gun at Poe and orders him to move. They find Abraham is already dead. John learns that Karen was moved to the operating room. Poe tells John that in the operation room, only the child survives. John has to either release Poe or Karen will die. However, ZD informs Poe that Mentel will not negotiate during a hostage situation. They rush to the operation room right away. However, ZD opens fire at Poe, turning his body into a mess. ZD blocks the only way out, waiting for the strike clones to arrive to destroy the remaining prisoners. D-Day tells John to get him to ZD's computer center, and is able to successfully disrupt ZD with a computer virus. Unfortunately, moments later, D-Day is killed by a strike clone. In his last minutes, D-Day can shut down the lights in the whole prison, delaying Karen's operation. The virus makes all the clones jammed after. John and Gomez run out to find Karen, while all the inmates take the opportunity to run away from Fortress. Finally, John, Karen and Gomez can escape to the surface by a stolen truck. On the way, Karen is about to give birth. As they break the Mexico's border, John has to stop the truck at a barn to support Karen's delivery. However, the truck is activated again by ZD. It drives by itself to the barn, killing Gomez on the way. John manages to destroy the truck with his weapon. However, the truck crashes into the barn where Karen lies down for delivery. John believes Karen and the baby are killed in the crash until he hears a baby's crying. It turns out Karen has escaped before the explosion. The two happily look at their newborn baby. Like and subscribe to watch more videos like this, and don't forget to turn on your notification. That really helps my channel. Thanks for watching.